Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to some more Apex Legends gameplay. Today we're playing some squads here on Apex Legends. Dropping in here at Skull Town. Pretty fun game I had. It did not hit any crazy personal kill record or none of that stuff like that. I just think it was a 21 kill squad game. Ended up winning. I wouldn't put up gameplay if it wasn't a good gameplay or we didn't win. It's kind of silly. So today's video is going to be about mostly of why I recommend people play this game. I was talking to my roommate Jeremy. He plays a lot with me online. I think the last video I uploaded, he was in the squad. I'm not exactly sure about that, but I believe he was. We were having a pretty long conversation about this game and what they did right and a little bit of what they did wrong, because there's not a whole lot in my opinion. But comparing it to other games, especially games out right now, and how that basically is all kind of tying into the shift in gaming culture and how it's ever changing, and there really is never like a set, I guess, culture for that matter, or set standards, or well, there's standards, but there's not like a set thing that people are gonna buy. Like, it's very dynamic. It seems to be almost every year, or sometimes even within the year, interests change drastically, and game developers and publishers are left kind of scratching their heads like, what the hell is going on? Why is it that, last year our data was showing that this game mode was really popular, so we made our entire game around this, and then suddenly flash forward a year and a half later, and now this is, format's outdated, and people don't want to play it, and all our work's been for nothing, quote-unquote blackout. So, basically, like, I'm going to make this kind of like my review of the game. I mentioned a little bit about this in my video. I think it's like titled AAA, or free-to-play versus AAA, which I was kind of going into the thing of, or the discussion rather, of free-to-play games like Fortnite and Apex Legends and the slew of free-to-play games that have been available and how they're competing, honestly, I think for the first time with major AAA studios with a lot of money behind them and a lot of money to be made, and really a lot on the line for these big AAA studios. And they also have a lot of resources, so that means that they're supposed to be putting out really quality products and things that people are going to want to buy and play. And these free-to-play games, although I understand these cost money, these aren't free to make, and I know that, but still, like, these free-to-play games have a much different business model and are honestly just kicking ass compared to these other games that are, $60 to buy the game, $50 for DLC, then there's more DLC on top of that, and the game is still unfinished. Again, Black Ops 4. So, this game, what I like about it, and it's hard to explain really because fun is a very subjective term, and everyone's definition of fun is different. But for me, fun really is, like, I guess it's more of a pros and cons chart. Or for me, I usually measure it in, out of how many games am I playing where, or it really comes down to, am I bored? Because I play Call of Duty, and the older games that I played and really still do play, I was never really bored unless it was like, 3 a.m. on a Friday and none of my friends are online. I'm like, alright, I'm gonna hop off, I'm bored. But other than that, if I have friends playing or whatever, and there's game modes to play and stuff to do, I'm not bored. I might get mad at the game, but that's different than being bored. Getting mad at the game means I'm still gonna play. I might play more because I'm pissed and I want to win. I'm gonna play to either, one, get better, two, to win the game and be like, haha, I bested you, I get back at you. So I'm still playing the game. So I would say being bored of a game is the worst thing that I guess a game studio can hear. There's like, shit, man, like we're not only are these people like dissatisfied, but they're not playing anymore. So this game to me is just really fun. I just like it. I like the movement, I like the weaponry, I like the play style, I like the communication. Some things they didn't do on purpose, it just kind of happened. And others, I think there's a lot of careful consideration, and it really shows because the way this game plays, it's just fun. That's really all I can say about it. Or I can say plenty, but this is really my best summary. It's just fun. It's competitive, but it's not. Of course, all over YouTube and Twitch, and I already see online all the tournaments are posted. $1,000 tournament, 1v1. I haven't seen any like 3v3 tournaments yet. That's kind of odd. But I'm sure UMG will have their own ladders and stuff for tournaments and whatnot. But it's more of a casual competitive game. It doesn't make any sense because casual and competitive are kind of, oxymorons. But really it is. Like, it's kind of a paradox in itself. Really how this game plays. But I really enjoy it because with that competitive aspect, obviously there's like a champion at the end of every round, like a squad. And you get that gratification that I'm the first place winner, and then it also shows your kills, your damage. So even within your squad, you can be like, hey, I carried this team, or hey, I got carried. You know the stats, you know who won. all this, that, and the other. So I like that it's a mixture of competitive and casual, and I guess I'll kind of get more into the gunplay and movement because, like, what does that even mean? Especially to someone that's not a huge first-person shooter gamer. Maybe you're playing some more of the adventure-style games, and Apex Legends pops up, and you're like, huh, what's going on here? So I guess I'll start with the movement. Now, the movement, I like it a lot because it's fluid. Now, it's not super realistic. It's actually far from that. But think about it. This game is not a realistic game. This is like science fiction. You got this ship's like hovering with zip lines attached to it. I got shields. I have hemlock. We have energy weapons. You got, all these like, legendary, not legendary. You have these like epic or the gold version. I'm not exactly sure the terminology. I never am for some reason. I play these games a lot, but I'm never exactly sure or never certain of the terminology for some of these things. But you have the Mastiff, the Kraber. If you played the game, you recognize it. There's also gold versions of the guns you can find in the little like robots hiding on the map. There's like a gold Peacekeeper and stuff. High level weaponry. There's just a fun level to this and enough sci-fi that competes with the realism. Like, of course, you're still running on the ground, you're still shooting, so there's enough of that kind of, what we know, especially if you play shooter games, what you are kind of familiar with, but then it also has that sci-fi flair. So the weaponry, or I'm sorry, I'm on movement. Weaponry is the next point. So the movement is really cool. I like that you can slide down hills and you go pretty quick. It's not like this really like, drag your balls slide where you're like, all right, I'll be there in a minute. You can really haul ass when you want to slide. You can do things when you're sliding. So if you slide down a hill, you can heal, you can shield, or like charge up shields. You can call stuff in. You can reload. Pro tip if you didn't know that. So if I come up to a big ass hill and I'm weak on health, I'll just slide down the hill. I'll make sure I find a clear path and I'll just heal up on the way down. It's pretty cool. If you kind of get a hang of the movement, you can do some like slide jumps. Like when you slide down a hill, you can jump and get a little bit of a boost off the edge of the hill and get a little bit farther. If you're playing Bangalore, which is what I play, that's my main character. I think she even has, this gameplay, ironically, I'm playing Lifeline, but it's because someone else took Bangalore. But Bangalore is my main character. So when I'm playing that character, she has a like a speed boost, I guess. Like when you get spotted, you haul ass, and you're like double, triple speed. So I like the movement. I like the zip lines. Zip lines are a fantastic addition. Whoever had that idea, kudos to you. It adds a lot to the map. It helps you get to some high areas pretty easily. You don't have to go and find like 2 ladders or go up the stairs. Really awkward. You can, but these zip lines provide another way to get up there, and it's quick. You can, shoot when you're on the zip line. You can look around. It's not a very fixed animation, which I like. It shows they put some effort into that. They didn't get lazy and just throw up some random, you're going to be locked into this zip line animation and have fun getting off. So I like that. I like how you can slide. I like, the reloading's kind of difficult because that's just reloading. I mean, there's not a whole lot of movement associated with that. But basically, it's just the way that the game flows and the way you move around things. I like that you can climb up walls to a certain degree. All that. It helps getting around the map really easily, and it helps doing that without building, which is what Fortnite was really based around, and for lack of a better phrase, built upon, was, the whole building mechanic and how that added to the game and how you could move around and build ways up, build ways down, build forts. This game doesn't have any of that mechanic, but you do have the zip lines. There's a character that can build its own zip line. There's just a lot of ways to get around. Weaponry, all the guns, there's different ammo types. All the guns have their strong points. They're balanced. I really haven't run into a gun where I'm like, maybe the R99, when you get that thing fully equipped out with attachments, that thing does peel up close. But, I mean, let's see if extended mag, the magazine size is only 18. And that's also a thing I wanted to mention on gunplay, is the magazine size on all these guns, at least for the assault rifles and submachine guns, I think it's 18 standard. Then you gotta start getting extended mags and finding attachments around the map and crates and whatnot. I like that it's only 18, especially for some of those fast-firing SMGs, because those things do shred up close. But the magazine limitation, it does make you think about your shots. It enforces accuracy, and it also doesn't reward, shitty players with, let me just get out my bullet hose. Unless they have the devotion with the turbocharger. Unless they have that, then you're doomed. But going off that, you have the turbocharger, you have the precision choke. If you play the game, you know what I'm talking about. You have all these attachments that make not each, but certain guns even stronger, and it really plays to their strong point. The precision choke on the outlaw, not the I always call it that. It's the peacekeeper. It helps it shoot a smaller spread, more powerful, more range. You have the I think it's like the threat detector or whatever, a digital threat detector. You can see people through the smoke. You have the turbocharger, which spools up the havoc and the devotion faster, so you don't have to wait on that charge up. It really makes every gun have a strong suit, and it balances them, because these things aren't just, you can't just throw it on the gun and run around like COD. You have to go find it. You have to fight for it. You have to fight people you get out of their death crate, whatever. It makes stuff worth it, and it also encourages people to switch up their play style and kind of figure out what they like. Because you find a gun, like I like to have the Peacekeeper or the Mastiff, which is the like gold version of a one-hit shotgun that's semi-auto. That's really cool. That's also going on weapons. There's the legendary weapons. You have the Mastiff, you have the Kraber. I don't think there's another one. I know that you can sometimes get some of the, like I said, the golden weapons and the robots that hide around the little like triangle robots and whatnot. But the weapons are great. The movement is great. The communication's not really like they're doing. I mean, like they just put game chat in, and it's crappy quality, like the audio, the game chat. But in a way, it almost kind of brings you back. If you've been gaming for a while, it brings you back to old school Xbox 360 or old school PS3 with like those crappy game mics and Modern Warfare 2. It really brings, and people are talking again. We're having communication, teamwork. All these things combine: movement, gunplay, communication, and there's only really one map, which is cool. I like how you drop in. It's pretty similar to Fortnite. I like it all. It's a really fun game. I recommend you guys download it, give it a shot. It's free. You don't lose any money, unlike other games that are $110 if you want DLC. So that's my 2 cents. You guys have a good day. Peace.